Michelle Rodriguez, let's wipe her out. The action scenes get bigger and bigger, but in Too Fast, I love the dynamic between Paul Walker and Tyrese. Like the first time they meet, they start fighting, like you punch like crap, bro, and they're just yelling like they're good friends. And when Tyrese realized that Eva Mendes likes Brian instead of him, he becomes kind of like sullen about it. He steals cigar cutters. You have Cole Hauser as the bad guy, and the shots. Right when Brian pulls up in his car, it steams. They're making him seem like the bull. John Singleton knew what he was doing. There's a lot of eye shots. He loves Lee Van Cleef. John Singleton did. So if you watch it again, you'll see all the eye shots of Cole Hauser. And he's just talking about how he wanted to make a matinee movie. You have Suki in there. You have the introduction of Tej Ludacris. You have just this really cool, diverse, fun, bright, different crowd. And at the end, they ramp a thing, go onto the boat, and they're injured in the boat. They're about to get killed. And Eva Mendes saves them. It's just the most human. It's the most fun. There's a scene where they just start stomping a guy for like 30 seconds. And John Singleton did it on purpose. He's like, yeah, you see a street fight, man. People get stomped. And it's just a authentic, fun, like I think it features the most family too. You have these two brothers who I like the dynamic between Tyrese and Paul Walker more than I like the dynamic between Dom and Brian.
Yeah, because Vin Diesel wasn't in the second one.
Yeah, well, he went to go to A Man Apart, which is funny, and that tanked. So, I mean, A Man Apart.
I just remember the ex-girlfriend I mentioned earlier about the Shane West stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Her sister really had a crush on Vin Diesel, and I remember we went and watched. She loved the first Fast and the Furious, so we went to go watch the second one. And back then, like, I was a little into movies, but I wasn't huge into them, and we watched it, and she was pissed that Vin Diesel wasn't in the movie.
Yeah, and expectations were high. They wanted Vin, but this one's just fun. Trust me, there's trailer parks in it. That's so Florida. And there's there's good chases. There's like some of the stuff. His car, James Remar shoots his car and it knocks out, and then the sixth one it hits Paul Walker's car again, and Paul Walker knows how to deal with it. It sets up a lot of stuff in the franchise, and Ludacris and Tyrese are still in it. So I don't know. I dig it. I think it's fun. I think it's underrated.
I think the franchise gets a hard sell for the many shots of like scantily clad women at nightclubs and things.
Yeah,
which it's unfortunate that they are in every film. And
yeah,
when we did a Lamcast franchise look back of the whole Fast and Furious films, like I've only seen 1 through 4 once a piece, and that was for that podcast. I went through and counted through all of the credits every time someone was credited as girl, and it was hundreds and hundreds throughout the franchise. So many. Unfortunate.
They kept that up in 8, 7. Like James Wan went insane with it in 7. A company did a thing where they analyzed how many gratuitous party shots there were, and 7 has the most. 2 isn't the heaviest on it. 2 is actually the heaviest of cars. I actually broke down every Fast and Furious movie and figured out that Fast and Furious 6 was the most Fast and Furious. That got a ton of upvotes.
Yeah, you did. I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and there are some shots in Too Fast, Too Furious where there's pure gratuity. You know,
I get why they're there. I get who they're for, but that's kind of why I think people look down on the franchise a little bit. Is because like, oh, it's those films with those ladies dressed up in not very much. I'll skip that, thanks.
But it's fun, and I'm not saying it's the best. Now you asked me my favorite, so I can't say the best one's 5. So it's just I'm going for my own things. But yeah, that was a long conversation. But I like 2. I like 2 and 3. I think Han in Tokyo Drift, and just they went over to Japan, like the different cultures that you see, the different they really get into the life in Japan, and you got like the kid who goes over there. You have Han, Nathalie Emmanuel, Bow Wow's in it. He's really likable. They form this neat family. There's actually just a lot of racing in it, and you get kind of absorbed in the culture. And I dig that movie. So those are my 2 favorites. In a Deep Blue Sea podcast, but I don't care.
Yep.
Fast and Furious.
It's been a while since we talked about Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's not your favorite series. You didn't like 2?
Well, we're gonna cover them.
Oh yeah. I haven't even watched those. But...
neither have
I. Hey, Rob, I guess did you guys have anything else to cover from this?
I'm just checking. I think we covered everything I had.
Hey, Rob, do you want to plug your 7,000
podcasts
shows that you have and plug your merch? And also, anybody who listens to this can go to 7landproductions.com and you can get a free shirt from Robert. Just type in Deep Blue Sea, free shirt, Robert. Send it to me, one night delivery.
It's just my face though. It's not about the podcast or anything. That's just me.
Free shirts all around.
Yeah, no, I don't know about all that, but yeah, if you want to, you can actually just go to like iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can just search for Seven Lamb Productions, and all of our podcasts should pop up. And we have a ton of audio dramas we work on, where basically they're like old radio shows. So we have a horror fiction, a sci-fi apocalyptic tale, we have a dramedy, like just different stories, and you can listen to them, and they're done in like different chapters or in episodes. They're about 20, 30 minutes in length, and we write out scripts, so we have actors come in and put sound effects and music behind them, and they're starting to pick up, so it's pretty cool. We got a lot of shows. So Tower 4, Paralyzed, End of All Hope, Story, Cop Doctors, Atlas Avenue Beat. Like, these are all different shows of different genres, so definitely check those out.
Yeah, Robert crushes it. I mean, just your number, just you're building an empire, man. It's awesome, and you have a page that I think everyone should go like and follow.
Mm-hmm. At Seven Lamb Podcasts on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
I mean, just the amount of stuff that you put out, man. It's so whenever I feel like I'm doing too much work, I just look at what Robert's doing, and then I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. So you've been good motivation for me, man.
I appreciate it. I mean, I work a part-time job right now, especially like after COVID. Like, I only work like 3 days a week, but I still go in there and I try to get out early every day just so I can come home and work on podcasts.
And occasionally I join your show, There Will Be Cake, and I just run amok on it.
That's not a fictional one. That's like our nonfiction where we celebrate different holidays. Every single day we release an episode.
We've had some weird conversations on that.
Yeah, you were on Swim a Lap Day and Vegetable Day, and who knew that there are so many? There's like 5 or 6 holidays every single day.
It's awesome. But yeah, go follow all his stuff. You'll love it. It's great. It's great.
It's great.
Jay?
Listeners, you can find this podcast, hopefully you should know by now, but at Deep Blue Sea Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or email us deepblueseapod@gmail.com. And you can read more of my writings over at lifevsfilm.com, Life vs. Film, or over on The Lamb, the large association of movie blogs, largeassmovieblogs.com. Come join us if you have a movie blog or podcast, and we're part of a big community of the same. Mark, what have you got to plug?
So I got a new video coming out for Food Theory online. So if you go Food Theory Mark Hoffmeyer, I think it's going to come out on the 28th of January, so I'm not sure when this episode's coming out, but it's gnarly. It's going to be a gnarly one. Gnarly. And then go to Mark Hoffmeyer Film Theory. I'm going to have some new videos up there. Listen to Rotten Tomatoes is Wrong podcast. I'll work on that. Watch Versus, Rotten Tomatoes show on Peacock or YouTube, and then Movies, Films, and Flicks. I'm finally going to get this data article that I've been talking about for years done. Also listen to the Movies, Films, and Flicks podcast, where you can hear both Jay and Robert, Movies, Films, and FLIX. And then if you're bored, just rate, review, and subscribe to Deep Blue Sea. Please, that'd be awesome. Cool. Thank you for joining us, Robert.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a good time.
So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer.
And me, Jay Cluett.
And Robert Lamp being pulled around in a buoy right now by Jack Austin.
See you next week.